kind of broke ours down with positives and negatives of just the scenario that was outlaid and then a couple of curveballs. So I'll just touch on a couple and then I will pass it over to a few of my amazing teammates. So in terms of the opportunities that we thought that we at least want to be provided, is sponsorships, partnerships and collaborations. So local businesses within the communities that could benefit from sponsoring and advertising their businesses. If there's partnerships where there's a mutual benefit of something that they can get out of providing some type of financial support to, or not even financial support, maybe it's time, effort, energy, whatever the case may be, something that's beneficial and advantageous to the club or the respective park, and collaboration as well. And then, yeah, in terms of one of the issues in terms of how to combat the cost was the positive that I just laid out. So we kind of identified the negatives and then spoke about the positives that could negate those negatives. So I will pass it over to someone else.
Okay, cool. I think one of the things we identified from what we're aware of is obviously it's sort of named as a community track, but the community isn't massively engaged. So I think obviously we want to try and engage with the community, and I think a big part of that is sort of involving people from the community in the process of developing whatever we want to develop. So it's sort of that they're inputting into the process and then feel engaged at all levels, so that they are a part of it and don't feel sort of disenfranchised from it. So that was sort of, turning one of those negatives into a positive.
Yes, I'll take one. One of the negatives that we identified was the lack of participation. An idea we had to combat that, actually I'll go for two. So the first one is promoting the benefits through appropriate channels. I think that one's really important because I think with youth sometimes, like, I think Andy mentioned like back in the day, they would just post it on a poster board. And like that would not work today. So like you need to get on Instagram, you need to get on TikTok, you need to, and then that actually ties into the next one, which is get people involved who speak the language. Kind of going back to what Jeff said, making sure that you're bringing in coaches, volunteers, other players, like whoever, that can kind of relate to you to get them to participate more. And that's it too.
So,
you know you're gonna have to speak nice and loud so everyone can hear you. You got this.
yeah, so we have to like accommodate to the youth, so they are encouraged to come here. I don't know what we'll do that, but we need to like figure out ways how we can like help them out to participate in the community and in terms of sport.
Anyone else you would like to add any points that were mentioned?
I think that's it, isn't it? I think we've touched on the safety and safeguarding concerns.
So the safeguarding concerns was we just kind of added that when the curveball was thrown in of if a gang was participating or conducting activities around that kind of site, what would you look to do? A few things we talked about was just trying to get those youths involved somehow into the respective activities, so that way they might be dragged away from some of the gang activities that they were being involved in. But of course the main concern is the safeguarding issue that would have to be negated in some way. So, yeah.